So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video. Today we are back with another Zombies Q&A, the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, but let's get into it. Here we go, and enjoy. So the first question of today is from Yeetimus Boy, and you say, hey BOA, why does the quick revive disappear after a certain amount of uses? So very good question. If the perk machines are given to us by Dr. Monty, if he gives them to us to help us out, whether it's, as you say, quick revive, juggernog, speed cola, double tap, they all have their own unique abilities. And even though they were created by Group 935 and other groups, it is Dr. Monty that teleports the perk machines from location to location depending on where the characters go to. So if Monty gives the perk machines to us to keep us alive, because if the characters die, then the cycle ends, meaning the end of Dr. Monty, well, why does he get rid of quick revive once the characters have used it 3 times? That is a good question, and it doesn't quite make sense. He gives the perks to us to keep us alive, yet he takes away quick revive after we've used it. Honestly, I'm thinking this doesn't have any storyline explanation to it. I don't think story-wise Treyarch have thought of a reason. Of course, in terms of gameplay, it's just to make it more difficult. If we had quick revive over and over again and it never went away, it'd make zombies pretty easy. We could just keep buying it over and over again. So I think we just have to say, when it comes to the story, this is something we have to ignore. The next question from Cody says, why does Richtofen have a German accent, but in the house, child Richtofen doesn't? Please answer, love your videos, keep it up. Well, this got me thinking, because you can see the same exact thing towards Samantha, how her accent changes from German to American, and then in BO4 Alpha Omega we hear her go from American back to German, but no one ever asked the question about Richtofen, or specifically Eddie. You never hear anyone say, well, why does Richtofen have a German accent, but his child version, Eddie, doesn't? We don't know if, like Samantha, his voice changes back to German in Alpha Omega because we don't hear him. I believe off the top of my head the only time we ever heard Eddie's voice was in the Origins ending. I mean, I guess that's better than the child versions of Nikolai, Takio and Dempsey. We've never heard their voices. And to be honest, we don't even know the reason why Samantha's voice changes. So for Eddie, because we know even less about him than Samantha, it's pretty much impossible to answer. We haven't been given it by Treyarch, so we can only come up with theories. We know that Eddie is originally from Dimension 2210. That's where Richtofen got his soul from. We don't know what possible changes, if any, in that dimension Eddie had gone through. Maybe it's part of the process of turning souls into children. They lose their original accent. Is it because they are children and have grown up in Dr. Monty's house? They haven't developed the accent that they would have originally been from. So with Eddie not living in Germany and being around Dr. Monty, since he has an American accent, is that why Eddie and Samantha have one too? But that's weird because Samantha's accent, like I said, changes back to German. When she gets angry, it's almost like she suddenly remembers who she was. I don't know, it's one we don't have an answer for, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The next question of the day says, did Jack Vincent arrest the Mob of the Dead crew because there is a picture of Alcatraz in Shadows of Evil? So underground in Morg City, I believe this area is called the train station. I'm sure you would have all seen this, but on the wall there are loads of pictures of missing people. There is crazy writing and letters everywhere. There are candles lit. It almost looks like a ritual, but there's also a picture of Alcatraz. You can see it right here behind the missing people. Could this link to Jack Vincent, and why is there a drawing of Alcatraz in Shadows? Morg City is based in Chicago, Alcatraz is in San Francisco. Why would this be in the subway? Well, we do know that the Mob of the Dead crew, the Weasel, Sal, Billy and Finn, all operated here. If you take a look around the city, you will see evidence of this. We have here Finn O'Leary's B&L, that's his bar. We also have Al's Barber's Shop, and then there's DeLuca Shipping, being a business that Sal DeLuca owned. So the mobsters were working and operating around this area, and even more proof towards this is the fact that Jack Vincent actually mentions the Mob of the Dead crew. You can hear from this quote,
Finn O'Leary's whiskey tasted better than this shit.
He talks about Finn O'Leary's whiskey, and there are also 2 other quotes. The first one where he talks about busting Sal's liquor joint.
Could've used this when I busted Sal's liquor joint.
And the second one, he talks about busting the Weasel for trying to open up a bank safe.
I once busted a little weasel who tried to use one of these to blast open a bank safe. Dumbass nearly blew himself up.
So from the sounds of it, it was Jack Vincent who actually arrested the Mob of the Dead crew. More than likely it was also him who ended up putting them in Alcatraz. He talks about busting Sal's liquor joint. Sal DeLuca, of course, was the head of the mob. He was in charge of them basically. And then he also talks about arresting the Weasel for breaking into a bank safe. And we know the reason Al got arrested in the first place was for doing a heist in Los Angeles. So it very well could have been Jack Vincent who put all 4 of the mobsters in Alcatraz. And that could also explain why we see the picture of it in the subway. Is this the area where he would investigate the crew to get leads on them before he busted them? The picture of Alcatraz could be because that's where Jack ended up putting the mobsters. Maybe, or they could be another reason. Like I said, there's also pictures of missing people. I'm thinking these were the people that lived in the city and they're reported missing because, well, they turned into the undead. So these could have been put up by their relatives. When they came to visit them, they found they were missing and put up these posters. Or, if you actually listen to one of the radios in Shadows, well, take a listen for yourself.
Hey, Mr. Rapt. So, I went by the market again today. For some reason, the fruit seller was much more talkative. Even if what he said was more than a little crazy. He told me that when he was a boy, his uncle would get drunk and start talking about how a dark force cast its shadow over the city. How good and evil were battling right on our doorstep. And that the only thing holding back the forces of the apocalypse was the ancient order of the Keepers. Well, even if what he said was more than a little crazy, I'm not sure he was. Even though they're scared, or maybe because they are, people are talking more. Asking around, I've heard more than a few whispers about this ancient order and the Keepers. I think it's some kind of cult. They say you can hear them chanting sometimes. From beneath the city. There's all these rumors about human sacrifices and freaky shit that even the police won't investigate. Because they've been paid off? Or because they're too damn scared? I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
As you could hear, the reporter who was sent to Morg City to investigate what was going on, when he got here, the people of the city began to talk about the ancient order of the Keepers. He said he began asking around and he heard more than a few whispers about this ancient order and the Keepers. He believes it's some kind of a cult. He goes on to say, they say you can hear them chanting sometimes from beneath the city. There's all these rumours about human sacrifices and freaky shit that even the police won't investigate because they've either been paid off or because they're too damn scared. I'm not even sure what to believe anymore. So the reporter talks about people being sacrificed beneath the city. And as we see here, this very much looks like a ritual area with all the candles lit, the smoke, the skulls on the table, the satanic writing on the wall, and the missing people. That all links up to these people being sacrificed. It seems like the people of Morg City took these people and sacrificed them for the ancient order. Maybe that instead links into the Alcatraz picture, the chanting under the city, the apothecans, the Shadow Man also being here. We do know the Shadow Man has a big role to play in Mob and Blood. He helped the Warden turn it into hell pretty much, into the satanic island that we see it as. So possibly he has something to do with the picture of Alcatraz and not Jack. But that could be one possibility. These missing people are the people that were sacrificed. And one last thing I want to add on to this is if you actually go outside, on the wall here you can actually see there are a few different posters or newspapers, but one of them says looking for young reporter, and it's pretty clear that this advertisement was put here by the Shadow Man, who was posing as Mr. Rapt, to hire a reporter to do all of this work for him. So there we go. And the final question of today, which is a little bit of a more personal question for me, but you say, hi BOA, love your videos. Do you think you would ever start streaming zombies? And do you think the old characters would return in some new way in the next game? Well, I would love to stream zombies. I have done it a few times in the past, maybe like 5 streams on YouTube, something like that. I did used to stream on Twitch maybe, oh god, it was a long time ago, back when GTA 5 was new, so yeah, maybe 5-6 years ago. But the reason I don't stream now is my internet is absolutely awful. Honestly, yeah, it takes me a hell of a long time to upload videos. I can barely watch streams, never mind do it. So for now, until I sort that out, which could be, I don't know, a year, there's just no way with my internet I can stream it. I'd love to, but it's not possible. And you also say, do you think the old characters would return in some way in the next game? And honestly, I don't. With the way things are going, with the next Call of Duty game from Treyarch, whatever it's called, BO5, Black Ops, a new title, I don't think the name really matters, but I think we've seen the end of the Ether story, so either we get a reboot or we see something totally new. I think it's going to be the second one. I mean, we never truly know, but if you're asking me, which you are, don't know why I said that, I think there's like maybe a 5% chance that we'll see the old characters return. We'll just have to wait and see. And actually, that reminds me, we should get a trailer very, very soon. I mean, we are over the date where we usually get teasers and leaks. The trailers for the past few Call of Duties have been at the beginning of May, like May the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, so it could be a week or two away till we get an official trailer. But we should be getting leaks anytime now. Usually we would have had them. But yeah, there we go. So anyway, guys, as always, hopefully you have enjoyed the video. 75% of you who are watching these videos are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, check. Make sure you are subbed. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just make sure you are subbed, alright? If you are subbed, turn on the notification icon as well. But thank you for watching, guys. Drop a like rating. Leave your questions in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.